If I had to pick a side activity that the creators of Wizard101 have ignored way too much recently, it would have to be gardening. When I think about gardening, I think about something that has so much potential to even out the playing field for players that feel left out, and also it's just a really cool side activity, and yet it gets literally no love from the devs, and I wanted to talk about that. I think the conversation about gardening starts at why you would garden to begin with. And for a lot of people, the reason for gardening went a lot beyond the snacks that they currently garden for. People used to garden for reagents, people used to garden for treasure cards, people used to garden for jewels. There's a lot of examples of this, right? Back when low level was a thing, people used to farm Sunyans for supernovas and enchants. People used to literally plant sword ferns so they could have sharpened blades. People used to plant king parsleys for amber. People used to plant jewel plants so that they could get pet jewels and circle jewels and square jewels. The list goes on. And yet nowadays, really, because they haven't really updated the system, the only real reason to ever garden is for snacks. So you want evil magma peas like the ones you see in front of you, or couch potatoes. This is what a lot of people, you know, their relationship with gardening starts and ends there. And you might be wondering, Sauce, why do you care if people just garden for snacks, right? Like, who cares? I care about this issue because when a side system that's so related to energy is this stagnant, everything related to energy also becomes stagnant. I don't think it's a coincidence that they haven't updated gardening, and they also have an increased amount of energy the wizard gets. This energy currently doesn't get diluted into a bunch of sources like it used to, and it's only really used on snacks. The wizard has no incentive to garden other things. And the more energy you can get into acquiring snacks and using that energy to feed the snacks to pets, the less they make on energy elixirs and other things. So as a money issue, they would never really want to increase energy. But I think that's super flawed, because why would you not create other sources related to gardening where you might want to use energy as a max wizard? In other words, what if instead of 2 gardens full of evil magma peas, what if I had an incentive to plant one garden of evil magma peas and another garden of something else? I still remember the day they actually dropped these, like, you know, jewel blossoms. I think it was many years ago, right? But it was really cool, right? This was like a new gardening item that you could like harvest. You could get, like, you know, star jewels for it, and it was a regular use for my energy that wasn't just related to just getting a bunch of snacks from evil magma peas. And I don't really see why they don't do this with all of the new items that they've added since these updates. They have jewel blossoms. Why not have pin blossoms? Why not have Novus, a place where you have to farm endlessly for all of these pins? When you're talking about dual school setups like this one, yeah, it's a lot of fun, but this is a tedious ass thing to farm for. How hard would it be to add like a seed that you can get from any of the mobs you normally farm pins from, except this seed is a blossom that can drop pins that you need. The reason why, like, seeds that drop stuff that you normally farm for is such a cool idea is because it's a pity system in itself. Back when people used to actually craft their spells, people used to farm for amber while also having gardens where they would get amber. And it was a really cool system that lowered burnout from just farming forever, because yeah, maybe you're in the mood to farm one day, or maybe you're in the mood just to get an amber from your garden that you planted. Everyone has different paces and different approaches when it comes to getting the stuff that they want, and I think gardening is a really cool solution for people that has simply gotten abandoned. And if you guys think that, you know, just seeds that drop pins is like the only, like, you know, new type of seed that they could add, the list of things that they could add that drop from seeds is literally endless, because they've added so many things since the last gardening update. They could add PvP seeds that drop things like metals. They could drop guild seeds that drop things like Azop. They could add seeds that drop the spellmented version of spells that are hard to get, especially the higher tier ones. These really cool tri-blades and dual blades that they've been adding, they feel hard for some people to get, because for a lot of people, they either need to get Azop or they need to do PvP for them. Why not have a seed that drops stuff like that? What's absolutely mind-boggling to me about gardening is that they have created, basically, in my opinion, an inbuilt system to fully, like, you know, control how generous the drop rates are. You have seeds that can reseed, meaning at the elder harvest you can get it back, and you have seeds that won't. So that itself, like, you can make it unreseedable and completely control the rarity of this item that you're trying to drop from the plant. You can even control the length of time that it takes to mature, the length of time that it takes to go to epic. You have a system that can absolutely and easily control the rate of acquisition of items and the amount so easily, and yet they just haven't updated it. What I would love to see is so many new seeds and so many new avenues for the wizard to explore that they actually have a reason to do stuff to the current ways gardening is used. Maybe energy could actually increase increase. Maybe the sources that you can increase your energy can increase. Maybe the snacks that you get from mega snack plants, maybe those can give more XP. When you have a living, breathing, moving side activity, that's when things get exciting. It doesn't feel exciting for me to get the 500th evil magma pea on my account so I can, you know, get one more mega snack a week. I think one common sentiment that I've definitely heard recently anyways is that some of the endgame content doesn't feel as rewarding, right? Like, you can PvP and make a cool deck, and that's about it. You can maybe get to the very end of the quest line and do a really, really cool battle, but after a while, you stop really getting rewarded for it. Even the highlight of the most recent update, right? The raid. It feels like, yes, the rewards are very hard to reach, but once people start getting it down, I feel like the rewards need to be more rewarding. And if I had to place at least one reason for this trend of like, yo, I'm doing all this stuff, I don't feel rewarded, it's the fact that one entire class of drops isn't as viable anymore for you to even consider. When was the last time you got hyped about getting a seed from a boss? Like, you know, if it maybe you got somewhat hyped over like a couch potato drop here and there. They can make extremely rare seed drop, extremely rare items, and really create like this culture of going after that when you're gardening. And yet they just don't want to. It could just be so much fun, and yet I feel like they're just not investing into this side activity. I will say this though, if we're thinking about how, like, you know, a case study and how it could work, at least that does exist in the game, not to be too harsh on King's Isle. I think the only like use for gardening, in my opinion, that's actually unique and like makes me excited to do it other than just getting mega snacks is the Beast Moon system. The Beast Moon blossoms that you get just for doing Beast Moon are things that they drop literal reagents that help you get cosmetics, and they also drop you idols so you can like do better Beast Moon stuff, and they even drop spellments for spells that you can only upgrade through Beast Moon. That's extremely versatile for knowing gardening and doing Beast Moon. Why does that not exist for doing PvE and knowing gardening, doing PvP and knowing gardening? It like deadass boggles my mind that they haven't updated gardening meaningfully in so long, because and in the worst case scenario, right, nothing would change. People would just continue to garden the way they are. But in the best case scenario, it could be such a rewarding side activity that people literally buy more energy elixirs if they want to speed up their process, or at least have more use for the energy that they already use. It would literally be a win-win for players and King's Isle, because I don't see more uses for energy ever going wrong for King's Isle. Y'all can say I'm wrong in the comments if you want. What do you guys think about the current state of gardening compared to how it used to be? And here's a really good one. If you could choose like a seed, if you could make a seed and have it drop anything, what would you make it drop to make the side activity of gardening feel more exciting? I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on this, because honestly, I think this is the most underrated conversation we could be having right now. I look forward to reading y'all's comments. Let me know what y'all think. As always, drop a like if you enjoyed. Leave a sub if you're new. I just had to show some love for something that just doesn't get that love anymore. Stay awesome, y'all. See y'all soon. And yeah.